there, Randall Starling. So the mixture of the young and the new and the old here at GBSC Sports Park this afternoon.
Yeah, not too far away from a start here on Adrenaline O'Malley game day. Teams moving into positions. Great conditions for football, and as I said, a big crowd in attendance for a big family day here at the Brigades Football Club. So it looks like Railways will be kicking toward the city end, which is the Red Rooster end of Eden Clark in this particular term, and the Brigades toward the river end to call all the action in this. I think it's the penultimate, one back from the penultimate round of fixtures here in the GNFL to call all the action, Mr. Football Glenn Barnden.
Yeah, round 12 of the GNFL Premiership season, and we're about to do it today for Community Bank Geraldton, the bank that gives back to the community in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. Umpire Stephen Pratt holds the ball aloft or underway in the very near future. As umpire Pratt puts the yellow ball into the air, the big fellas go at it. No one gets a decisive knock. Railways player throws himself at the ball. Ball comes out, comes the way of Railways now by Kimberley. Goes by hand there to Scriven. Scriven gets it away, but only as far as Jaden Schofield to Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield handballs the ball forward. Going now with a run of the ball is Jack Deschamps. Pack develops. Ball comes out the back, goes the way of Railways, and Railways player there in Jamie Huggins kicks the ball to centre field, where it's taken by Tom Fleming.
Yeah, big Tom Fleming at the half-back lines, which is played to the outer side of Eden Clark. Up they go, goes down to ground. It's picked up now by that player in Ryder. He spins around on a 50-cent piece, sends it below the scoreboard, but it's all Railways here as it comes away now under the guise of Jace Price. He kicks to the outer side, a bit of a contest. Has the umpire blown his whistle? No, a bit of stacks on the middle. Will in just a moment, but the ball continues to make its way through those scrums, and eventually the whistle is blown and a free kick will go the way of Brigades, and it is Henry Perham. He switches play into the middle of the ground, going the way of Lewin Valley. A lot of talk about Lewin this morning on Football Forum. The ball coming to the outer side. Jaden Schofield marks. He sends it back, crisscrossing the ground at the moment of Brigades as he sends it back the way of the player there, Jack Deschamps. Jack loses possession though, kicks into the man on the mark. Railways are quick to pick up on that. They kick it straight down the corridor, but it is the defenders for Brigades who are working overtime. The ball straight up into the air. It's knocked down this time by Jace Price. He is the Railways custodian, knocks it to ground. It's picked up again by Mitchell Boyle. He's tackled maybe a little bit high, brought to ground, and the umpire says no prior opportunity there, my friends, and a free kick will go the way of Mitchell Boyle, who umpired this fixture the last time it was played.
So Mitchell Boyle gets a big kick up towards the forward line, looking up there for the player there, Ryan Latester. He kicked 11 last week against Chapman Valley. He's got Joel Patrick to look after him this afternoon, so he'll find the going a little bit tougher. Joel's
to start calling him bucket.
Ball comes back into play. So the ball is with Brigades. Railways bring it in, I should say. Goes the way of the Railways player there in Henry Anderson.
He'll nearly kick this, Glenn.
Henry Anderson is 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle, kicking to the city end of GBSC Sports Park.
Don't think he's got his shoulder bandaged up today, Glenn. He has in recent games. We've watched him.
So Henry Anderson, let's see how he goes. Puts it on his left boot. Looks pretty good off his boot.
Oh, nice kick.
Goal umpire signals 1 point only. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, with 2.5 minutes gone in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton, first score on the board goes to Railways with one behind there from Henry Anderson.
You're listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Peter Forenza and also Glenn Barnden, along with Peter Bucket Keefe, with special comments here on Radio Mama. The ball on the far side, though, is with Railways, I should say Brigades, going down the Golf Club side of Eden Clark Reserve. Players up into the air, fisted away by Perham on that occasion, goes to ground. It's Railways at the bottom of the pack as they come through Boyle. He's unable to get it to anyone effectively. The ball spills free, and a bit of a player is tied up in the end, and a free kick has gone the way of Kim Schofield. The big boats, he sends boots, he sends it down.
Wouldn't mind getting the pop out of those boots.
Yeah, Kimmy looks the goods out there, doesn't he? As they send it further into the half-forward area now, Brigades. No score on the board. In fact, there is the 1 point going the way of Railways, but Brigades are looking threatening as they come inside the forward 50 from Perham. Up they go. The mark is almost taken, but in the end it goes to ground. Joel Patrick couldn't take that mark. The ball is going toward the boundary, but a free kick has been found and will go the way of the defender for Railways.
Yeah, Railways got the breeze at their back in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football, on Adrenaline O'Malley Motors Game Day. as Railways work their way out of defence through Delaney. Delaney goes with a short pass, gets it away, goes out to Nathan Tubby, the JJ Clune medalist. No, that's Henry Anderson, in fact. Henry Anderson gets a short pass away, goes the way of a teammate who gets the ball forward. That's
he has
Jack
got his
Connell.
bandage on the other arm.
Goes the way now of the Brigades player in Isaac Ronan. He kicks it up towards half forward where he finds Fraser Ismail. Fraser Ismail about 70 metres from goal. Kicks it up towards full forward, looking there for Dale Williamson. Ball slapped away from him, picked up well by Paletti. Paletti handballs the ball forward, lets Brigades back in. Caden Dan gets a handball out. Ball under pressure. The player gets thrown to the ground. Jack Deschamps held while not in possession. The Railways player showed a little bit too much aggression there. And a free kick goes the way of Jack Deschamps. And Jack Deschamps will shoot on goal from 50 metres. Kicking against the breeze in this first term, the Brigades side. And a very important kick. Jack Deschamps has had a couple of possessions today. And early stages of this term, the first term, Community Bank, and the ball with Deschamps taking plenty of time. He's got plenty of time on his side. So a kick from 50 metres, kicking towards the Chapman River end. Ball fades away to the right-hand side, pack into the air, 1 point only. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, it's 1 point apiece.
It's good to have someone like Dale Williamson at full forwards. And at the other end today, for Railways, Peter Bucket-Keefe with Latassia proving to be a strong goal sneak.
They are, Pete, and they're good targets. They're big, strong fellas, and it gives you a target. Just goes on your feet. You know, that's at the moment he's on his own inside 50, no one around him. So if it comes in quickly,
Richard Wells sends it in from the outer side. Player brought to ground. The umpire says nothing in that. Valley running for it toward the boundary. He's able to collect it just inside the big light tower. Comes inboard then and finds the player there in Henry Perham. Perham now stops and takes stock as he kicks on the outer side. A lot of the game happening out there today as he finds our player in Ronan. Ronan, of course, his dad was a champion, 300 gamer in the GNFL. He sends it further afield. Not a good kick. This is all in sundry. I think it might have been out on the full, was it? The whistle does sound and the ball will either be thrown in from centre wing on the far side of GBSC Sports Park.
Yeah, beautiful day for football. Big crowd of attenders here at Eden Clark Oval this afternoon. Good to see lots of kids and their families having fun. And if you're looking for something to do, you want to see a good game of footy, the two top clubs at the moment on the GNFL Premiership table playing off today. Brigades are 2 games clear of Railways on top of the Premiership table. Whistle on play, free kick's been picked out. It'll go the way of Brigades. So Brigades have the ball now. 50-metre penalty, is it? No, not a 50-metre penalty. Goes the way to Tom Fleming, who gets the free kick. So Tom Fleming gets it on centre wing, outer side, kicks it up towards half forward. Railways player almost a good mark, comes back, goes back to Railways in defence. Railways player takes them on, better get rid of the ball quickly there. Jace Price just got rid of it in the nick of time. Goes the way of Matt Kimberley. He goes by hand to Jamie Huggins. Huggins looks there for a teammate in Delaney. Ball slapped away from him. Brigades quickly go forward. Good bit of play there from the Brigades player. Picked up by the player there in Christopher Ryder. Christopher Ryder is offline, out of bounds.
Almost made something out of nothing, as they say in the classics, Glenn.
Good bit of play from Fraser Ismail to get it in there.
after watching last game they played against each other, Glenn and Pete, those 3 Indigenous boys caused all sorts of havoc, didn't they?
They did. So these sort of conditions would suit them. You're saying the big men, the ball coming in there, and them being able to feed off it.
Absolutely.
So we know the Brigades forward line is very, very potent. Dale Williamson's a good key tight, but there's plenty of skill around. Ball to be thrown up. Umpires this afternoon, Pratt, Bennett and Starling. Ball comes to a pack. Umpire has the ball held to him, or the ball is held to the player. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up once again. So time ticking by in Drilling O'Malley Motors game day. First term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. A free kick's been picked out. It'll go the way of Ryder. So he is only 35 metres out, and these ones are a bit too easy for him. He may have to run around and pirouette or something.
Yeah. Jamie Ryder, isn't it, Glenn?
Well, probably. Let's see how he goes. So, lining up for goal. Just in front of the scoreboard. About 40 metres in from the scoreboard. There goes the kick, and it is Jamie Ryder. And Jamie has got another minus score on the board. So, hard to kick a goal this afternoon. JMH Group scoreboard, and Brigades are 2 behinds, and Railways are 1 behind, and we're in the first term with Railways with the breeze at their back.
Yeah, and the breeze is coming from, well, I should say, Railways kicking to the city end, Brigades to the Chapman River end, as we see JJ Clue medalist send it inboard now, and they can set something up here. Railways trying to run onto it. And in is Jace Price. He's got a lot of the ball early in the game. The ball goes to ground. Players diving on top of it. There too, to try and collect it on this occasion is the player there, and Elijah Burrows. He's dispossessed of the ball. It goes back to the outer side and finds Perham again. Racking up kicks, Perham up and off the half-back flank. He is a forward from a back position. That's the way they play the half-backs these days. He comes laterally across the ground. Brigades doing okay at the moment, holding sway against about a 3-goal breeze, one would think. The ball coming down the wing off the boot this time of Joel Patrick, and it finds Lewin Valley. Lewin Valley just inside the defensive 50, looking for options in front of the big crowd here, in front of the pavilion at Brigades. Up go a few players, amongst them the players there in Jaden Schofield and also Kimberley. Neither able to get a mitt to it.
You touched on Lewin Valley. He came up for discussion today because East Fremantle rate him very, very highly, and come finals time, it's whether East Fremantle will need him in Perth or whether he'll be playing here with the Brigade side. Will be interesting to see. He'll make that choice, I guess.
Interesting, a bit confused obviously with our players as well. Nathan Tubby usually wearing number 5, of course. Henry Anderson now has that, and Mitch Boyle normally wears number 1, and that's he's right. Now wearing number 11.
Yes, it's hard to break those old habits.
Yeah,
when you've seen players play in those numbers for such a long time, but both those players were retired in recent times, but they've decided to come back to help the Blues out. As Lewin Valley grabs the ball, goes across the ground, looking out there for a teammate. Railways leading the race for the ball, but a good bit of play there from Schofield. He slaps the ball along the boundary line on that outer side, and picked up again by Brigades, and Clay Sippler's that player. Sippler gets it up towards half forward, finds a teammate in O'Brien. O'Brien kicks it forward, finds Caden Dan, and Caden Dan has marked just in front of the scoreboard, about 10 metres in from the boundary line, kicks it towards full forward lead. And a good bit of play there taken by Jackie Perham, and Jack Perham taking a very good mark. Jack is 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, kicking to the Chapman River end. So Jack Perham, can he get the first score on the board? Brigades have been playing around with the ball, not getting the efficiency in front of goal. Jack Perham's going to go to the left-hand side, goes straight through the arms of the player there, and in fact didn't even score it, hit the post. The point post, that is, so the ball will be thrown back in, but still in the danger zone. So 11 and almost 12 minutes gone in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. Top of the table clash. Brigades, the minor premiers. Railways are in second spot at the moment, picked up by Railways defence. Railways get it out through Drew Tunbridge. He gets it out towards centre wing, but once again, Brigades have the numbers there, and the ball very close to the boundary line, and a pack develops, and umpire Starling will have no option to come in and throw the ball up once again. So on the scoreboard for the GMH group, it is Brigades 2 behinds, Railways 1 behind. Beautiful conditions for football here at Eden Clark Oval.
Yeah, nearly 12 and a half minutes gone in the first term. 2 straight points to the Hawks in front of Railways, just 1 point, so no major score on the scoreboard yet. End-to-end football, the Breeze favouring the southern end, the end to which Railways are kicking in this particular quarter, about a 2 to 3 goal breeze. The ball comes in now from the golf club side of the ground. A big crowd in attendance with cars right around the ground on that far boundary. Ball coming in now, looking for a player to try and take the mark as he dives in to try and do so. Unable to, hits the ground, and the ball spills over. So the ball about to be thrown in now, not far from the scoreboard in the Brigades forward line.
We've got a World Cup score line at the moment, haven't we? 2-1.
We have the World Cup continues for the Australians on Monday, and we believe that your superstar is going to take to the field, Glenn.
Yeah, she said she's going to give it a go if everything goes well. So let's hope it can. I know she's been working extra hard to get herself right, but of course Australia running out of time now, and so too is Sam Kerr. Ball comes in from the kick in, goes out towards centre wing, outer side. Railways have it through the veteran and Jesse Moore. Jesse gets it in towards half forward, but Brigades are there from the player there in Caden Dan. Comes back towards Valley. Lewin Valley, big kick up towards full forward, looking there for the big fella. Dale Williamson almost put a handle on it, dived at the ball, ball runs free, goes away of Fraser Ismail, ball taken away from him by the Railways player. Railways do well, gets it up the ground, almost a Brigades play, Howell not in possession. Play on's the call, goes the way there of the player there in Dion Drage. Dion Drage for Railways, gets it forward, goes the way of the player in Bunter, gets it away to Latesia, and Latesia gets it in towards centre half forward where he finds Jesse Moore.
Yeah, Schofield a bit unlucky there, Glenn, not to come away with a free kick. He played it beautifully. The ball going the way now of Jesse Moore. Nice big kick into the full forward area, but coming out of defence and taking a nice mark is Joel Patrick. The big conveyance is Patrick. He's one of twins, which is scary. Kicks further afield. Finds a teammate who's equal to the task, and Brigades still slowing things down a little bit. Haven't got into second gear, one would think at this stage. They send it inboard. The ball was marked in there by Clay Sippler. Clay Sippler, wearing the helmet, sends it back out toward the broadcast side of the ground. A nice mark is taken in this area by Thomas Fleming. Fleming down the wing. He's looking for support from Schofield. Schofield runs onto it, quickly puts it on the inside of his boot, sends it into Ishmael. Ishmael has room down the half-forward flank. Has he got options? He handballs into a teammate there to try and run onto it. That's Graham Sandy. Sandy isn't equal to the task on this occasion. Railways gather it back through Anderson. He sends it down the wing and finds the youngster in Giltro.
Young Giltro plays on but kicks into the man on the mark. So a little lapse in concentration there from young Cody, and only he's only played 2 games.
The second game,
second game, so he's very good young player is Cody, very good cricketer, and looks like he's got a bright footy future ahead of him as well.
Railways are taking it up to them at the moment, aren't they? The game hasn't really opened up yet.
No, it hasn't. No one's got into second gear yet, but
Brigades probably could have kicked a couple that they missed, but yeah, they're still in it, Railways.
Ball is held to the man. Umpire said the ball had no opportunity prior to get away, so the ball will be thrown in. So the ball will be thrown up by umpire Randall Starling. Umpire Starling puts the ball into the air. Ball goes way of Mitchell Boyle for Railways, kicks it forward, but Brigades have the numbers there. Harrison King goes by hand, gets a short one there to a teammate, and that teammate has the ball held to him. And a whistle on play, and once again umpire Starling will come in and throw the ball up. So ball will be thrown up on the almost centre position here at GBSC Sports Park. So there's been a lot of contested ball. Ball hasn't been able to flow because the pressure's been pretty high on the ball carrier. Tom Fleming there takes the ball out of the ruck, does it pretty easy, kicks it forward. Once again, Railways Drew Tunbridge leads the race for the ball, but he left the ball behind, but he goes back in and retrieves it. Whistle on play. Railways player held while not in possession, and that is Jamie Huggins. Jamie Huggins just in front of the JMH Group scoreboard. Brigades 2 behinds and Railways are 1 behind.
Oh, nice grab in the air though by the Railway Brigades player. Then he went up and took a beautiful mark. It was a lovely mark taken on this occasion by Fleming. Fleming, the big conveyance. He sends it inboard. Not a good disposal though. The players gather around the ball. A bit scrappy at the moment. Players trying to get it out as they dive back on top of the piece of leather. This is the first term brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton. Glad to have them on board in season 2023. So Community Bank Geraldton, of course, every bit of money that goes into that bank is distributed back into the community, and they do it well. The ball, again, doesn't go too far, bit of Groundhog Day. And Peter Bucket-Keefe, you mentioned earlier, the game really hasn't got off to a fly yet. Guarded both sides at the moment.
No, they haven't. I guess one thing I watched last game, just quickly, was the Schofield boys cut Railways to shreds, but they have put Anderson onto Jaden Schofield, and they're tagging Kim Schofield, so they haven't got the room to move, and that's where a lot of their engine room work comes from.
Bottled up in the middle as we see Ryder go to ground, doing a bit of rovering, gets the ball out to that player in Fleming. Fleming onto his boot down the far side of Eden Clark Reserve. He's looking for support in the half-forward area. Looks for Perham. Doesn't find that player. Eventually does. He gets a handball to play there in Kim Schofield. But Perham caught a player that was not in possession of the ball, and that player is Kimberley. And he's got a free kick on the half-back area.
Yeah, it's not going to be a long quarter because the scoreboard isn't ticking over too greatly. As we see Blake Bunter with the ball now. Blake Bunter, one of the players wearing a helmet today. There's quite a few players out there with helmets this afternoon. Bunter puts it on his left boot, goes out wide, looking out there for Dion Drage. Drage and the boundary line come up too closely, and they cross the boundary line on half forward on the golf club side of GBSC Sports Park. So the ball will be thrown back into play, and the boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. A bit of byplay there between Scriven and Kim Schofield, who ran into each other as Schofield was making his way off the ground. But I think that would worry Schofield too much as the ball goes out of bounds.
Take nothing away from Scriven, but I have seen how thick his glasses are, Glenn.
You
You might have needed them.
I was just watching Nathan Tubby run on, and it looked like it hurts.
It hurts you
already. Forget about tomorrow.
The ball on the far side, and the game a bit scrappy at the moment. As we said, there hasn't been a major score. 2 points to Brigades and 1 point to Railways as we head toward quarter time here in our Drennan O'Malley game day. Of course, there are other games happening throughout the league today, Glenn.
There are, and Rovers are out at Chapman Valley at Mazzucchelli Oval, and up at Northampton. Mullawa are visiting there. And in the women's game just played, it was a really tight game. Northampton just got over the top of Mullawa by 2 points, 14 points to 12. So a very, very narrow win there to the highly fancied Northampton. As we see Railways go quickly forward, and Railways' Jesse Moore has an opportunity to get the first score of the afternoon in a major sense. And Jesse Moore is 25 metres out, directly in front. So important kick for Railways. Breeze at their back. We're into time on now. We haven't had a goal scored in this first quarter, which is surprising in these beautiful conditions. So Jesse Moore lining up for goal, kicking to the city end. And I would think he would be able to bring up a score, but he brings up a minus score. So it's two behinds apiece. Two behinds apiece here at GBSC Sports Park. As the siren sounds, that quarter only 20 minutes. They only go 20 minutes and 30 seconds when you don't kick any goals. And on the quarter time scoreboard for the JMH group, it is Brigades 2 behinds, Railways are 2 behinds, and you're tuned to Radio Mumma, the home of GNFL football. It's a very entertaining game here at GBSC Sports Park. A tight, tough contest. 2 points apiece, which is surprising. The quarter didn't last for long. Only went for about 20 minutes and 36 seconds. And the siren was blown. And our quarter time summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. And Peter Keefe, you're looking after the better players. What did you take from the first quarter?
Well, it's a bit of a backman's quarter, really. Jamie Huggins played well for Railways, and Elliot Delaney, Scriven, Henry Anderson looks pretty good on a wing for Brigades. The Schofield boys have been relatively quiet, 2 and 3 possessions apiece. Henry pounded 4. Lewin Valley, I'm interested to watch. He's had 5, and the big fella Fleming's had 5. But yeah, I think I was just nullifying Brigades' better players at the moment.
Umpire Bennett gets his second term underway. The second term, thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, and a Brigades player was held while not in possession. That is Kim Schofield in the bright orange boots, so he makes it himself pretty easy to pick up this afternoon. Maybe they're pink, are they?
Pink, I think.
Pink, aye. Pink boots.
He's looking
Kicks
for
them up
votes.
towards half forward, picked up by the Brigades player in Jaden Schofield. Jaden said, "This is how you kick a goal."
Oh, hang on.
The umpire's coming in, and the
Greg's might have been
umpire.
touched, I think.
No, he's waiting on the umpire. He's not too sure. He's
Big
waiting for
screen.
the signal from the umpire.
So
1
he
point
was
only.
touched.
No, 1 point only. On the wrong side of the post. So he was asking the umpire for a little bit of advice. Which side of the post
Oh,
it went.
surely a goal umpire would know what side of the post it went.
Well, he didn't see it. That's the trouble.
He's only standing near the post.
Yeah, but he didn't see it. That's the problem. It went
Give you
pretty
one
quick.
job, Glenn.
Yeah.
Give him one job.
Yeah. So the ball will come back into play. The JMH group, 3 behinds, is the score in favour of Brigades. Brigades have a little bit of breeze at their back in this term. In fact, the windsock's been taken down, has it? It has. The windsock's been taken down. That's a bit rude. The ball comes the way of the Railways defence. Railways have it through Anderson. Anderson kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for Ryan Latesia. Goes the way of Giltro. Giltro brings the ball across the ground, and he's picked out a teammate. That teammate has taken a very good strong mark under a fair bit of pressure. Plays on by hand. Goes the way of Matty Kimberley. Goes the way of Giltro. Back towards Kimberley. Kimberley puts it on his left boot. Kick not a good one. Harrison King's there. Punches the ball away. Goes back towards the Brigades player there in Henry Perham. But Railways have an opportunity. Picked up there by the player in Nathan Tubby. Nathan into the and the own cheer squad this afternoon, because every time Jesse gets the ball, there's lots and lots of support from the Railways reserves players, I think, who are enjoying the game here this afternoon. As Jesse Moore plays on quickly, centres the ball, looking there for a teammate. That teammate it was Owen Delaney. Ball comes forward, goes the way of Jack Connell. But this time Brigades go the way of Harrison King. He gets it away to a teammate, but Railways have it through Giltro. Giltro goes by hand to the veteran in Benny Saunders. Saunders kicks him towards the forward pocket, looking for Ryan Latesia, and he thought he was at the oval because he took a slips type catch, or tried to. Ball goes off hands and out of bounds. Boundary throw in about 30 metres around from the right point post, and we're in the early stages of this second term. It is Brigades 3 behinds and Railways are 2 behinds, who will kick the first goal and win.
Yeah, the ball comes in now. Players go up. Free kick will go the way of Brigades. A kick to the outer side, coming off the boots on this occasion of Jack Deschamps. The ball comes off hands and goes over the boundary.
The big Latesia at full forward, sometimes if you're a big bloke and you don't get your hands on the football, you can lose confidence very quickly. Sometimes, I knew when I played in the ruck, it was good to get in the ruck for 10 or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, get your hands on the footy, get a bit of confidence and go back to full forward. Then when the ball comes in, when you haven't touched the footy, it's hard work sometimes.
Comments from Peter Bucket-Keefe here on Radio Mum of the home of GNFL football. As Railways go forward now through Kimberley on the far side of GBSC Sports Park. He's quickly gathered up though, goes to ground. The ball is bottled up. It looks like it's Kim Schofield at the bottom of the pack, and a bit of a pack does develop. There's a push and shove, and there's a bit of a, hello, how's your mum going on over there at the moment. And the ball will come back. I don't know if there has been anything said, but I think an umpire has pulled out a
free kick at a 50 metre.
Yeah, a free kick going the way of Railways out of that altercation. A little bit too far on the far side to see exactly what went down, but obviously against the Brigade side.
No,
so
against the Railway
side. Sorry. So Railways coming in now.
Getting a bit of treatment, Kimmy Schofield today.
Well, that's a player you do. He certainly is a dangerous player, and they're trying to rough him up as Kim Schofield comes in now, just outside the forward 50, kicking toward the city end of this particular term. Kim Schofield wearing the pink boots, as Glenn has mentioned several times already. Looks pretty good, straight through the middle. Kim Schofield has scored the first major of the afternoon. That is Brigades first, and the first, as I said, of the afternoon, 139, and they lead Railways just to 2 points, Glenn.
Yeah, a very handy goal. So I don't know really what went on there, but there was a free kick and then a 50-metre penalty. You can't afford to give them away. And Kimmy Schofield's the last player to
give
give
a barn
it.
dance at one stage.
Glenn and Pete, how long do you think that Kim Schofield would have lasted if it had played against Muller in the 80s and 90s and those days?
Yeah,
First bounce.
They're a real statement by players these days, aren't they? Because the Railway.
They wouldn't be able to.
Well, Jack Connell's got an orange pair of boots on, so there's a few players that don't mind making a statement, but Kim doesn't mind wearing pink boots, and if you can get a kick, and he does that, so it's all good. So on the JMH group scoreboard is Brigades 139 to Railways 2 behinds. 5 minutes gone in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, as Nathan Paletti rins the knock forward, then he almost roved it himself, goes the way of Matthew Kimberley. Kimberley didn't get time to get the ball away, ball spills out, goes the way of Anderson, handballs to the bloke's boots, that isn't a good idea, goes back towards a teammate there in Ben Saunders, he goes to Delaney. Delaney gets a short pass forward, good bit of play there from Lewin Valley, beautiful bit of play, puts his teammate under pressure there, but it comes back towards McGregor. Drew McGregor there, feeds it out, looking for Caden Dan. Caden Dan on centre wing, goes backwards, goes the way of Graham Sandy. Graham Sandy tackled. Umpire says play on, goes back to Caden Dan. Caden Dan kicks it up towards half forward, looking up there, running with a flight of the ball. Railways have it, Brigades have it through to the camp, goes the way of Ryder, and Ryder shoots on goal. And a good goal there from Jamie Ryder, and Brigades all of a sudden have got 2 goals in a minute. And on the JMH group, it is Brigades 2 goals, 3-15. They lead Railways 2 behind, and you're on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy.
Pete Lewin Valley, you mentioned him a little bit earlier, done a bit of work in that passage of play that resulted in a goal.
I haven't seen him, he's not a tall kid, but he's a real goer, and I think Glenn, you mentioned at Country he was quite good. So look, and it's good to see the families coming through, like the Ronans and these kids, you know, it's family club, you know.
Certainly, ball coming back to the middle, and Brigades their second goal in quick succession too, and this is second term, brought to you by Melissa Price, the member for Durack, 2-3-15 I should say, plays 2 straight points in favour of the Hawks. The crowd continues to grow here at Eden Clark this afternoon, up they go, it's won by, out of the middle on this occasion by Paletti, but going the way of Schofield, starting to have his ascendancy, or shows ascendancy in the middle of the ground. He kicks into the forward half area. Ishmael gets the ball for Brigades, has 1-2 attempts at getting it, handballs over his head, goes away now off the half-back line for Brigades, or Railways, coming down the line, finds the big fella, and I'm talking about the fella there in Fleming. Fleming sends it inboard, and they're away. Brigades through the guys of Ryder. The Ryder's playing right up the ground and down the ground as well, as it goes from Jamie Ryder into his brother. In fact, it is Chris Ryder who goes to ground, caught in possession but loses it, goes to the outer side again. Railway's a nice big kick, but there's Lewin Valley once again. Valley, a beautifully balanced kick, finds the teammate. That teammate there is Geordie O'Brien. O'Brien comes inboard now. Bit of a pack develops, 2 players go up, but it is the Brigades player into Champ that is awarded the free kick.
There goes the big kick for Brigades. Brigades have the opportunity. Picked up now by the big fella in Dale Williamson. Dale's kicked a goal, and that'll do his confidence a world of good.
Oh, Josh Kennedy toe poke.
Yeah, 3 goals in 3 minutes. 3 goals in 2 minutes on the JMH group scoreboard, all in favour of Brigades, who have the breeze at their back in this term, as Brigades make 4 changes straight off the bench. 4 go on. And on the scoreboard, it is Brigades 3-3-21 to Railways 2 behinds. We've gone 8.5 minutes in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. The game being played out at Mazzucchelli Oval at quarter time. Interesting scoreline, and it is Chapman Valley 4-2-26 lead Rovers 2 goals straight.
Peter Bucket Keefe, special comments. Peter, I think that breeze might be a little bit of a factor, just quietly.
Yeah, but I think we said before the game that when this game does eventually open up, the Brigades will hold ascendancy, and it looks like that's happening. It's just starting to open up a bit more now. Less contested ball, more possession, carry the football sort of stuff by Brigades.
Yes, it is. 3-3-21 to 2 points in favour of the Hawks. The ball coming out of the middle. Chase Price dives on top of the ball. He's unsuccessful. So too in there is Kimberley. So the two little fellas going at it against their opposite numbers. So the ball back in the middle with the umpire. Umpire Starling. Randall Starling umpiring this afternoon. The leading umpires in the GNFL. The ball in the middle goes the way of Elijah Burrows. Doesn't want to give it up, but the umpire says, yeah, you do, son. No prior opportunity. We'll throw it up once again. So up goes the yellow ball here at Eden Clark. Out into space. It's picked up now by Burrows. Bit of a buzz goes around the crowd as he gets it to a teammate there. Back the way of Huggins. Huggins in turn finds the player is quickly set upon for Railways. The ball goes to ground in the just outside the forward 50 for Brigades. And the umpire will come in and relieve the pressure again. And on this occasion, it's umpire Bennett.
Umpire Bennett, umpire Starling and umpire Pratt in control of the game this afternoon. As umpire Bennett puts the ball into the air, Logan McGregor has the best of it. Ball comes to the ground. Railways player has the ball held to him, and he was thrown to the ground without possession, so he'll get the free kick. So the play with the free kick is Matthew Kimberley. Matthew Kimberley on half-back. He's working hard this afternoon.
His dad's on the boundary watching him right now, Barry.
Yeah, well, he worked pretty hard himself as a player, and his son carries on that hard work. Gets in the way of the young man there in Jack Connell. Connell kicks it up towards centre wing, just in front of Radio Mama broadcast box. Whistle on player. Player was pushed in the back, and it goes the way of Nathan Paletti. So Nathan Paletti will take the free kick. Nathan Paletti's come back into the Railway side over the last 2 or 3 weeks and played some really good footy.
He has been impacting, so to speak.
Yeah, he has. So Nathan Paletti with the ball, centre wing. Big kick up towards half forward. Pack into the air. The big fella goes at. That's Nathan Tubby. Ball comes to the ground. Goes the way of Clay Sipler. Ball held to him. He had no prior opportunity. And umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up. So Clay Sipler there wears a helmet. So too does the player there in Jack Connell for Railways. Goes the way of Giltro. He goes by hand to Boyle. Boyle throws it on his right boot. Kicks it up towards half forward. Ball goes the way now of a teammate there in Jace Price. He under pressure goes backwards to go forwards. Goes back towards Scriven. Scriven goes to a teammate there in Priolo. Priolo goes out wide again. Look again for Boyle. Finds Mitchell Boyle now. If he can put a handle on it, he can. Mitchell Boyle plays on from half forward along the scoreboard side. Kicks it in towards the forward pocket. Looking there for some movement. But the Railways player is held, and he has the ball held to him. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Must be very close to the boundary over there.
Yeah, 12 minutes gone in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Brigades 3-3-21, lead Railways 2 behinds. And a Brigades player is tackled, and he was caught. Was he in possession or not? The umpire says no, the boundary line, as you said, Peter, right there, and there'll be another boundary throw in, this time about 25 metres around from the right point post at the Chapman River end of GBSC Sports Park.
In front of the Jordan Toyota sign. Hello to Rob Hown and Louise, my lovely cousin, be listening in this afternoon, or even at the game watching Brigades. The ball coming back in the middle now, diving on top of a host of players. So the game has started to open a little, Pete, but it still is a bit scrappy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't know whether Railways have got a little bit of a negative mindset trying to stop them, and I understand that, but I think Letitia needs a run on the ball. That's what I would do, but I'm not the coach, and John Reynolds is a very good coach, so they're not getting flogged by any means, but they're sort of not impacting, are they?
No, the ball going forward again now for Brigades. Another goal will be costly though, Pete, as we head toward the latter stages of the second term. Boyle playing at both ends. He doesn't get it off his opponent on this occasion. It comes in the way of Ryder. He'll gobble it up, and he will unfortunately mistime it and put it through for a minor score.
Yeah, so opportunity there for Christopher Ryder. He was running into an open goal. He screwed it around, as young blokes do these days, but he got the wrong side of the bias, and it went through for a minor score. So Brigades are 3-4-22. They lead Railways 2 behind. The Railways haven't kicked a goal 13 minutes into the second quarter, as the ball goes in towards the centre now. Goes the way of a Railways player in Jace Price. Price slaps it out, but only as far as Brigades. Goes the way of the player there in Nathan Svensson. Svensson gets it out wide, but once again it's Railways leading the race for the ball. Matt Kimberley's that player. Goes by hand to Mitchell Boyle. He runs through traffic, gets rid of the ball just at the nick of time. Pack develops. Umpire says play on. Ball very close to the boundary line, and the ball in fact will go out of bounds on that outer side. No, it won't. A pack develops. Umpire Bennett has no option to come in and throw the ball up. right on the boundary line on that golf club end or golf club side of the Eden Clark Oval. Beautiful conditions for football and a very good crowd here for the top of the table clash. Brigades seem destined to finish as the minor premiers in 2023 as Mitchell Boyle is tackled high and gets the resultant free kick. So Mitchell Boyle has been prominent this quarter. So Mitchell Boyle with the ball on half-back, trying to lift his side. Former East Fremantle player.
Look at
kicks
that.
a poor one, cut it off by Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield kicks it up towards full forward. And Jack Perham, who's come on to replace Dale Williamson, who just came off. So Jack Perham is marked, and Jack...
Can you say Jack marked Perham-esque?
Yes, so 40 metres out, almost directly in front.
In
so
his blood.
Jack Perham lining up for his first goal this afternoon. And it could be the fourth goal of the term for Brigades and the fourth goal of the game. There goes the kick from Jack Perham. Looks pretty good off the boot. Fades away to the right-hand side and through for a minor score. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, it is Brigades 3-5-23. They lead Railways 2 behinds. And you're tuned to Radio Mama. We are the home of GNFL football with Peter Fiorenza, Glenn Barden and Peter Keefe.
Yeah, 20 points is the difference here at Eden Clark in favour of the home side Brigades. As Glenn said, they finished as minor premiers in season 2023 as they lead quite convincingly at the top of the premiership table. The ball coming to the broadcast side of the ground, going to Kimberley, coming down now Anderson. I didn't think he had his bandage on his arm, but he does, Glenn. I picked the wrong arm, but he's an important player for Railways as he sends it inboard now. Finds that player in Delaney. Delaney in turn sends it inboard and finds Blake Bunter, being sunning himself in Europe, but it didn't work because he's still as wide as ever. As the ball goes to the outer side, it's Letessia who gets it. He kicks it into space. Players running onto the ball as it goes toward the wide expanses and the boundary of Eden Clark Reserve, and the ball will be thrown in from the golf club side of GBSC Sports Park.
16 minutes gone in this big game. It's round 12 games today with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. 3 big games being played. And the other score from Mazzucchelli Oval at quarter time, it was Chapman Valley, who were doing okay. Chapman Valley 4 goals, 2 lead, Rovers 2 goals straight. Still waiting on a score from Northampton. Northampton hosting Mullawar. And the big game here, the 2 top sides going at it, trying to get ascendancy as they head into the second semi-final. We know that Brigades will be in the second semi-final. Who will they be up against? Will it be Northampton or will it be Railways? Railways would be keen to get a score on the board today and start putting some pressure on the Hawks.
As you said, neither of them will want to come up against Rovers in the first semi, Glenn.
No, you wouldn't imagine so, as Rovers start to
and
flex their
Northampton's
muscle.
record isn't too good against the Demons.
No, it hasn't been in the last couple of years. You're dead right there, as we see Brigades win the ball forward through Schofield, gets it up towards half forward, and the ball goes out of bounds deep on that far side. Lots of people out there today, and the players are playing for the crowd out that side of the ground. And the ball goes out of bounds again.
Maybe we should have set up over there, Glenn.
We should have, I think. The boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. Well, it was a beautiful day. We could have. And lots of people sitting out and around the ground today, which is really big bonus for GNFL footy to see a crowd as big as this at the footy this afternoon. I know lots of family groups are here having some fun for the family fun day. So that is added to the enjoyment of the day and what's going on as the ball comes now to the Brigades player there, new player, and Jack McCaffrey has been a pretty exciting pickup. McCaffrey kicks it up towards full forward. Ball dropped by the Railways player, picked up by the player there in Jamie Ryder, and he gets the goal that he missed last time. Jamie didn't miss this time. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, Brigades go to 4 goals, 5. They lead their opponents Railways 2 behinds, and a little bit too easy now. It's 18 minutes gone, and Jamie Ryder gets his first goal of the afternoon.
The Schofield boys starting to have an influence. They've got a tight tag on Kim, but they're too good footballers.
As I said, they break the shackles sooner or later, and they have, haven't they?
Yep.
Kim is electric in the middle at the moment. Boyle's doing a good job, but he's a bit of a lone sailor there, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah, Elliot Delaney's going quite well. But I know that the Schofield boys are a hell of a lot more running than anyone else in the GNFL. They'll run all day.
Unrewarded running is what it's all about. You just had to look at Charlie Curnow last night at the MCG, didn't you? So the ball back in the middle now. Players setting themselves up. They go. It's Fleming who's in the ruck. A part-time ruckman gets it down to Schofield. That's Kim Schofield. A nice big kick into the full forward area, but a good defensive play sees the defender for Railways run out and take the mark in Delaney. Delaney now sends it further afield. Finds Jace Price. He goes out and finds that player in Kerr. Ted Kerr playing his second league game for Railways. A noted hockey player in the competition, also a water polo player. His dad was a water polo champion for the Demons Club, Glenn.
Yeah, it's great to see Ted being able to spread his sports, and good to see him getting a run today as he did last week with the Blues. Just a score in from the game up at Northampton. Northampton keen to get back up the premiership table. Quarter time, Northampton 47, lead Mullawar 3. So a massive quarter from Northampton up there at Percher International Oval as Brigades go by hand from Perham. Goes the way of a teammate there in Jaden Schofield. Schofield kicks it out wide. Looking up there for Graham Sandy. Picked up by Cody Giltro. Giltro gets a kick away under pressure. Ball goes the way of the Railways player. Takes a good strong mark there in Jace Price. Jace Price on half back. Jace Price back from Northampton. He had a couple of years up there. So Jace Price back with the side he started his career with at the Blues. So Jace Price with the ball. And Jace Price on half back. Kim Schofield standing the mark. Jace Price kicks it towards centre wing. Looking there for a teammate. Finds that player in Elijah Burrows.
He's got the ball just in front of our broadcast position as Burrows. He sends it further afield looking for that player that puts up his arms, can't take the mark. We're talking about Jesse Moore. The ball goes forward again for Brigades onto the boot of the great player that he is, and he can just make something out of nothing. And I'm talking about the one and only Dale Williamson. An inside toe poke. It didn't make the distance, but it scooted through for a goal, and he certainly is still one of the best goal kickers in the competition, Peter.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good old football. I didn't think he was going to get that, but he did. But
it's just a goal sense, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The Schofield boys are really starting to take over now. The last 5 minutes both the Schofields have had plenty of possession. They're both leading possession getters around. It's
a big ask, isn't it, Glenn, when you've got two players, the likes of Jaden Schofield and Kim Schofield. You can nail one, but two's pretty hard.
Yeah, I think Peter made the point. You've got to win the game, and while you're taking players to try and curtail them, you've got to actually win the game. And Railways have looked like winning the ball out of the centre. Of course, we know they haven't got Jesse Adamini, who's a good ball winner out of the centre, but they really are struggling. And the Brigades do move the ball out of the centre. They've got a good nucleus of players in there. They've got Jack Deschamps, got Jamie Ryder, Caden Dan, and also the player who's Jordan O'Brien. So they've got a nice mix in there, including the Schofield brothers. As Brigades go forward again, they get it up towards half forward. Jamie Huggins is there for Railways, goes by hand to Matt Kimberley. He goes across the ground and picks out the player there in Ted Kerr. Ted Kerr plays on, puts it on his right boot, kicks it up towards centre wing on the outer side. Ball goes the way of the Brigades player, and that's Tom Fleming. Tom Fleming kicks it up towards half forward.
Nice,
and we see it, Peter, we've seen enough of Dale to know.
Yep.
Once he starts getting a little bit of confidence and
Absolutely.
he's
a confidence player.
He's kicked two, and he's taken a very strong mark. He was behind the man there, but he's got big long arms.
Big target.
Big gadget.
But he manoeuvred himself.
Yeah, so here we have it. Dale Williamson, one of the GNFL's leading goal scorers over a long period of time. Can he get his third of the afternoon and add to the tally? As Brigades have had a really feast of goals in this quarter. And he has. He's got his third goal. And Dale's kicked 3 goals in the term. So that's a good outing. And on the J&H Group scoreboard, we're in the time on well and truly in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. And it is Brigades 6-5-41. They lead Railways 2 behinds.
It's one of those ones, the Schofield boys that we were talking about just before, Glenn, is that you can't leave them on their own. Like, they're too good a footballer in the NFL to not have players play on them.
Yes.
In the last game they played, they left Jaden Schofield alone and he ran amok. So you have to cross check. But I think, just like you said, Glenn, I just haven't quite got the cattle at the moment, Railways.
6-5-41 plays 2 points. That's right. Railways have only kicked the 2 points. 23 and a half minutes gone. It's the second term. Heading to half-time, Brigades have certainly blown this game open in the second term with about a 2 to 3 goal breeze at their back as goes away of Ryder playing in the middle. That's Christopher Ryder. In fact, it's Jamie Ryder into the full forward area, and Perham broke away from 2 players to take a nice chest mark. So Jack Perham just inside 50. He sees the lead from Williamson a little bit too late, but there was Christopher Ryder over his shoulder. Up go the go gadget arms, and he takes a mark on a very tight angle. But this is easy peasy for him, Glenn. He's going to kick around the man on the mark, kicking toward the city end. So actually he's right in front. So he marked just inside the goal square. So good on him. So you'll just be able to kick straight ahead now. So if you're marking inside the goal square, you don't have to be put on the angle. So now Christopher Ryder, in he goes. It's 2-0, and Pete Brigades have a strong hold on the game now.
Yeah, I think so. These young guys are very hard to stop, these young Ryder boys, and who's the other fellow? The Indigenous boy that plays the forward line. They're both riders.
Caden, yep.
Pretty hard to stop.
The other interesting thing is, and it sort of stands out, you've got both Dale Williamson and Jack, both very big imposing blokes as well.
Yep.
And they both go pretty hard at the ball. And
so if you follow one, it leaves the other vacant, doesn't
and
it?
You've got those three young Indigenous boys running around. If they don't mark it, they're at their feet.
Yeah, exactly. And probably
where railways drop off a little bit there.
Henry Taylor helped Brigades and their coaching staff see that was a win when he used them as a puppeteer at Country Week, didn't he?
The ball comes out of the centre again. Railways go there through Giltro. Giltro goes by hand to Paletti. Paletti gets the ball forward, goes the way of Matty Kimberley. Kimberley gets it forward, but only as far now as the player in Tubby. Tubby handballs the ball away, but only as far as the Brigades player in Isaac Ronan. Isaac Ronan goes to the sanctuary of the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw in deep in the left forward pocket. Hasn't been in the forward line too much for Railways in this quarter. Dying stages of the second term, and 47 plays 2 in favour of the Hawks. In other games today, we can tell you at quarter time, Northampton 47 lead Mullawar 3, and the other game, Chapman Valley 26 lead Rovers 12. That was at quarter time, heading towards half time in both those contests. Ball now with Railways player and Jace Price on centre wing. Jace Price looking to get Railways' first major of the afternoon on the scoreboard before half time. Ball comes forward, goes the way of Mitchell Boyle. He runs to get there, but he goes back towards Matt Kimberley. He throws the ball on his boot, and Matt Kimberley says, that's how you kick a goal. And Matt Kimberley has been one of Railway's better players,
yes.
Has done very well. Gets the first score on the board, and at the 26-minute mark of the second term, it is Railways 1 goal 2-8. They trail Brigades 7-5-47. So 26 minutes into the second quarter, Railways get their first goal.
Matt Kimberley's been a strong player along with his brother Peter for Railways over many years. Peter not playing at the moment, but Matt continuing on, and I think was quite unlucky not to take out probably the first and best at Railways last year.
He's a hand-little player, and he's got a job there, and I think he's probably the best player for Railways, so even though he's manning up on Kim Schofield.
So ball back in the middle umpire, Randall Starling this afternoon. Randall, of course, we were up at Mullawar last week, and he umpired pretty well up there as well. Up goes the ball now, knocked down by Fleming. He's rucking well this afternoon, beating Paletti, hands down. The ball goes to ground. Deschamps is at the bottom of the pack, but it's Railways who come out with it, or do they? The ball will come back. A free kick will go the way of Buzz. That player, of course, I'm talking about Burrows. As he puts it to his boot, the whistle sounds for a very successful quarter for Brigades. They kick some 7 goals to Railways 1 in that particular quarter, and hence they lead the game 7-5-47 to the Blues 1-2-8. And you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is Radio Mama.
Lewin Valley dropped away in that quarter, but I think, Glenn, we spoke about it off air, is when Brigades go forward, they look dangerous, don't they? They've got the big fellas there, Williamson, and when the ball hits the ground, you've got the three boys, the riders, another young fella, look dangerous. They look like they're going to kick goals versus Railways work hard to get it up there, and they are struggling, Pete, to get it on the scoreboard. They just haven't got the blokes on the ground around. They've got the big fella, but there's no one under his feet that's quite got enough quality to kick goals. What's the thought?
No, you're exactly right, Peter, and that is the difference. But Brigades also are a lot quicker than their opposition, and they've got a lot of players that can travel with the ball, run with the ball, and both the Schofields, ditto for both of them, they can run with the ball. But also you've got people off the half-back line like Henry Perham that's got a great IQ for football, and his brother Jack in the forward line. So really, right around the ground, I think they match up well and truly over top of their rivals. Yep. But Mitchell Boyle, he continues to work well in the middle. He's working hard. But there's a few and far between that are meeting the possessions that he's getting.
Just while we've got a second, Peter, I like it. It's a good illustration of how, another big word, by the way, Schofield boys, for example, run. They run hard. They train harder than anyone else. They run on their days off. If you want to get better and better and better as a young footballer, you've got to not just go to training. You've got to run. You've got to really work hard at your trade. Ben Cousins did it forever, gut-busting running, and a lot of people nowadays don't do that.
No, they certainly don't. And in order to be a reasonable footballer to a good footballer to a great footballer, that certainly is the difference. And Absolutely. You see it even in the top level of AFL. The players that do that unrewarded running are certainly players that are the cream of the crop in the competition.
Change Ruckman, Peter, so let's just see if it makes any difference.
Back in the middle as we begin the second half here at Eden Clark. Up they go. Umpire Starling throws it up, and it's knocked down on this occasion by Brigades. Going back the way of the big Brigades, Ruckman. He's been doing good this afternoon. Puts it into space. There's Boyle. He's been everywhere this afternoon, but Brigades are doing the better as they come off the half-back line. They send it into just outside the centre square, going to ground. It's picked up by a player in Huggins. He's almost caught in possession. The crowd yells out in unison, but the umpire isn't having any of that. He blows his whistle and says no opportunity for anyone, fellas, and he'll throw it up once again.
Yes, early stages of this third term with thanks to Dredden O'Malley Motors. As the ball is thrown up, goes the way of a pack developing once again as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. And at half-time, the game at Mazzucchelli Oval, Rovers 6 goals, 6-42, lead Chapman Valley 5-5, 35 as the ball comes back into play. And a good mark taken this time by Henry Perham. Feeds a handball out there to Schofield. Jaden goes out wide and finds Jack Deschamps. Zach Champ playing good footy this afternoon, gets it towards half forward, finds Caden Dan. Caden Dan gets it deep into the forward pocket looking for Ryder. Ryder couldn't mark the ball, that was Christopher. Ball comes forward and Railways can regroup now, and Railways out of defence, gets to the way of Boyle. Boyle goes by hand to Kimberley. Kimberley goes to a teammate there in Tunbridge, but the ball comes back and goes the way of Railways again. Railways get it forward. Railways player gets rid of the ball just in the nick of time. That's Dion Drage. Gets it to Jesse Moore. Jesse Moore kicks it up towards full forward, looking there for Nathan Paletti. But the ball goes through for a force behind, so Brigades did that pretty well. And in the opening minute of this third quarter, the Premiership quarter, it is Brigades 7-5-47. They lead Railways 1-3-9.
Seppo sends it across to Nathan Svensson. Svensson kicks to the outer side. Of course, Svensson has been travelling overseas. We're back in the lineup too, Glenn, so that's just another plus for the Hawks today. Perham and Svensson back from overseas duties, we could say, Glenn?
Yes.
The ball is just outside the centre square on the other side of WA Country Builder Stadium. As you see, a big crowd in attendance here this afternoon. Right around the ground here at Eden Clark. The ball goes out of the pack. It's picked up off a Railways boot into the half-forward area, but that Railways player is brought to ground as the ball goes ski-whiffed and rolls over the boundary. So I think it might be out on the full. So the ball come back now, and it's with Sippler. Slipper deep in defence now for Brigades, but holding sway pretty convincingly. Slipper now kicks down the wing, players setting themselves. Centre wing up they go, no one can take the mark, the ball spills free. Running onto it are a couple of players, and the player to do well is Dan as he dives on top of the ball, Caden Dan. Very important player to Railways, Brigades, a premiership player with the Brigades team. The ball is retrieved by the umpire. Starling throws it up once again. It's knocked down by Latassia, who's in the ruck. Had a big haul of 11 goals last week, Glenn, but he hasn't got anywhere near that today.
Yeah, you got to deliver it to him, and they aren't doing that. But you got to give Joel Patrick a big clap for his performance today. He's being able to hold him out, but I see Railways have made the change. They put Latassia on the ball in this quarter, put Nathan Paletti back to full forward. So they're trying things. You've got to try something because Brigades certainly in control of the game as the ball comes out. And Deschamps, who was a very good player a couple of years ago, getting a lot more of the ball today, gets it up towards half forward, gives it to the player there in Ryder. Ryder throws it on his left boot.
Nice kick.
And he got an awkward bounce in the end, and it goes through for a minor score.
Oh, gee.
Hit a post. It almost bounced the right way through, but a good effort there from Christopher Ryder, but he was offline as Railways bring the ball out through Priolo. So 48 plays 9 in favour of the Hawks, the minor premiers. Ball goes forward now. Picked up the Railways player in Ted Kerr. Ted has played well this afternoon. There goes the kick from Ted up towards the centre wing, but Railways out of position. Picked up by Brigades Lewin Valley. He puts it on his left boot, finds Jaden Schofield all on his own. Schofield on half back. Kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for Henry Perham. Henry Perham comes inboard now, centres the ball, looking there for a teammate. That teammate couldn't control the ball. Well picked up by the Railways player in Henry Anderson. He kicks the ball forward, but he went high, wide and handsome and picked out Joel Patrick, and Joel Patrick relieves the pressure for the Hawks.
Yeah, straight down the throat of Patrick. He comes back to Schofield just in front of the dugout for the Railway side. Schofield sends it further afield. Up goes Kim, takes a beautiful mark. Strong hands in front of the big crowd here this afternoon. Running from our broadcast position for Radio Mama at Schofield. Kim sends it into the half-forward area. Up goes Perham. He comes down awkwardly. The ball spills free. Perham goes outside the pack. He'll shoot toward the goal, but goes across the face of play. He's looking for that player to try and collect it, but he can't do so. The big fella for Brigades goes to ground. Henry Perham comes in, tries to sock it forward. In fact, it's Ryder. The ball is quickly pulled in by the defender for Railways, and Kimberley, that'll be thrown up once again. So Williamson was the target. I'm thinking on that occasion, perhaps Perham could have had a shot at goal, Pete.
Yeah, it's the Schofield boys still hurting them out there. They use the ball so well. Here's Kim Schofield, got it right now. Perham's playing well too, Peter. Here's a goal. No,
he's going to give it to Dale.
Yep.
Henry Perham to Dale. And yeah, I think you were right the first time, Peter Fiorenza, when you said Jack Perham should have went for goal. He was trying to share the ball. And but he turned the ball over, or the Brigades did by the end of it. But now Henry said, here, Dale, have another opportunity. So Dale Williamson, who kicked 3 goals in the third quarter, lining up for his 4th goal this afternoon. So Dale, he's only 25 to 30 metres out, directly in front. Dale kicking to the Chapman River end, and he's got another one. Goal umpire signals all clear, and on the JMH Group scoreboard, Brigades are 8 goals 6, 54. They lead Railways 1 goal 3-9, and Dale has, Williamson that is, has 4 goals.
Peter, only when you got legs that size can you stab at it and still get that distance.
He's a pretty big fella, isn't he? How old is he now?
I think he'd be about 35, 36.
Yep. He's still got impact. He still does well.
Yeah, he's still one of the oldest players in the competition. He has got the... but he's beat Dale Baines' goal-kicking tally, Glenn. But is that all-time tally of GNFL goal kickers? So that he sits up the top of the pile, and it's going to be hard to beat in future years, isn't it?
Oh, there's no way that anyone will kick goals unless we go back to 18-game seasons. And we need a few players because, of course, we talk about Jack Perham kicking goals, but his dad, Steve Perham, he was an outstanding forward as well. And then we had Dale Baines, and now we've had Dale Williamson. So very, very capable players amongst that bunch. Ball comes forward again. Brigades trying to get another score on the board. Railways fighting hard. The defenders of Railways are trying their best, but they're under pressure. Ball goes the way now of the player there in Burrows. Elijah puts it on his left boot, kicks it out towards half forward. But once again, Brigades have the numbers, or do they? Brigades under pressure. Umpire says play on. Goes the way of the Railways player there in Dion Drage. Drage gets the ball forward, and Dion Drage fights hard to keep the ball in. Umpire Robert Bennett will come and throw the ball up. Umpires this afternoon doing a wonderful job. Umpires Bennett, Pratt and Starling. The Umpires Association are turning 60 at this year. And
so that meant there's 1 year with no umpires for the GNFL.
Well, they didn't have an association. They didn't have an association.
The umpires have been I've been watching umpires all year, and I haven't watched a bad game. There was one glaring decision on the wing here. We saw the Schofield one, but besides that, you haven't really noticed them, have we?
No, done a very good job, as you say.
I think they're one-sided in that Schofield one, supposedly. It's just that the rest of the crowd could see it, Pete.
Yeah, well, usually when the jumper's being held, it stands out a bit, doesn't it? You know? Yeah. But yeah, what we're telling people about that is if you've been involved with the umpire, you want to get involved with the umpires, next Sunday, the 6th of August, between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m, they've got a big show happening at the Murchison Tavern. And if you want to go along, get in touch with Brian Cohen or Stephen Pratt this week, because they need to know who is coming. So it'll be a big event. They're going to make a life membership to the Umpires Association. That's happening next Sunday, the 6th of August, at the Murchison Tavern.
We're back in the middle now, and it is a reasonable lead as we head to the, well, it's not the middle stages yet, 8 and a quarter minutes gone in this, the third term, and it is Brigades here at home, 8-6-54. They lead Railways just 1-3-9. So
a bit scrappy at the moment, isn't it? Last 5
I'm
minutes.
thinking that the Railways coaching bench would not be too happy with that score, Pete.
No, at this stage, no. They don't look dangerous when the ball goes forward in any way. But the game's really, I don't know what's happened. It's got scrappy the last 5 or 8 minutes, so it hasn't really opened up.
Yeah, and they're just being reactive, Railways, at the moment. Brigades are dictating terms as it goes to the far side of GBSC Sports Park. Henry Perham is the last one to touch it. In fact, it's out on the full. And the ball will be brought back in now by Brigades. Brigades down that far wing. Players setting themselves up. Goes Jack Perham. He's pushed in the back as he goes for the mark. The umpire says nothing in that. The ball spills free off the Brigades boot. It goes further afield into the half-forward area. Running onto it is the speedster in Drew McGregor. He sends it toward goal off the side of his boot. It misses all and sundry and actually goes out on the full, I think. Yeah, so the ball coming back in from Railways now, slowing things down. One would think they need another couple of goals really soon if they are to make any inroads in this game this afternoon. Of course, it is Drennan O'Malley game day. This is Radio Mumma, the home of GNFL football. Glad to have your company. The ball in the middle of the ground going the way now of Brigades. As we see, he can still get off the ground, can the big fella in Williamson. Up he goes. The player roved off the pack, shot a goal, but miscued and went through for the minor score. So at the moment, as Pete said then, getting a little bit scrappy, but holding ascendancy well and truly are Brigades.
Yeah, 10 minutes gone in this third quarter. Drennan O'Malley Motors game day as we go around the ground with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And Northampton are having a bit of a footy clinic up at Percher International Oval. Half-time, Northampton 19 goals 10, 124 lead, Mullawa 3 behinds. So it's going to be a long afternoon for Mullawa, and Northampton putting the hand up and saying we want to get back into second spot. So Northampton 124 lead, Mullawa 3. And the other game at Mazzucchelli Oval at half-time, Rovers 42, lead Chapman Valley 35.
The ball on the far side of WA Country Builders Stadium. It's been out there a lot today, hasn't it, Glenn? So
it is,
it's hard. It's a big, wide ground, so it's pretty hard to see exactly who the players are, but we'll do our best. The ball coming in now, going the way of the Brigades ruckman who knocks it down, but it comes off a Railways boot. Goes just outside the centre square. Players going up into the air. Railways player brings it down, and there's a bit of a pack developing. So the ball will be thrown up once again. It is 8-7-55, playing 1-3-9 in favour of Hawks, the Brigades Football Club. They are kicking toward the river end in this particular term. Railways have a breeze at their back, whether there is a breeze. We have no windsock, but it was about 2 to 3 goals, I think, in the early stages of the game, but maybe not so much now as the ball goes away of Railways. A beautiful kick into the full forward area, and there he goes, Latassia, and takes one of his textbook marks, we could say, by Latassia at the moment in recent games. And that was a lovely mark taken by the big fella, and he'll have a shot on goal, and hopefully for his supporters with a second goal for the Blues.
Yeah, the Brigades defender was a much shorter player, so for whatever reason, Joel Patrick was caught off the player on that occasion. So the Brigades player on the mark was far shorter than Ryan. Ryan's been in good form. He kicked 11 last week, lining up for his first this afternoon. He's a very good kicker of the football, and this time he has got his first of the afternoon. Goal umpire John Reid signals all clear, and on the JMH Group scoreboard, it is Railways 2 goals 3-15. They trail Brigades 8 goals 7-55.
Yes, and yeah, that was a much needed goal, Pete, but I don't know, they need to pull on a few more in succession, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. His first real clean entry they've had for a while. You know, he led up and it was a clean entry, which they haven't had. They haven't looked dangerous. at this stage.
So Railways get their first goal of the term.
Nathan Svensson was the player that was a little bit too short for his opponent on that occasion.
Okay.
So Ryan Latassia, I should say. He's a copper here in Geraldton. Pretty tall copper, wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley anyway.
He started at Towns, you will remember.
Yes, he did start at Towns.
Started at Towns and then went over to Railways last year.
He did. The ball coming out of the middle, going the way of, it looks like number 1 in Declan Scriven is quickly brought to ground. Hasn't had any impact on today's game, and in the last couple of games we've seen Scriven. He certainly has been a contributor. As the ball goes away now of the player there in Deschamps. Deschamps gives it up though. He's caught in possession, and a free kick will go the way of Moore. Jesse Moore continues to battle for the Blues, kicks it into the half-forward area. There goes Latassia up again. This time he's up against a much bigger opponent. The ball goes to ground. It's picked up by Dan in defence. Gets it to Sippler. Sippler in turn gives it away to Boyle. Boyle shoots on goal. Will it bounce kindly for the Blues? There is the player there, Latassia again. He fists it through and only through for the minor score.
So a minor score for the Railways scoreboard. JMH Group scoreboard sees Railways 2-4-16. They trail Brigades 8-7-55 as Brigades bring the ball back into play through Clay Sippler. Sippler goes out wide, looking out there to the golf course side. A Brigades player very close to the boundary line sees the ball across the play, but a Railways player, the ball must have been out of bounds on the full. So Railways bring it in through Nathan Tubby. Railways have an opportunity now. Ball slapped away by the Brigades defence. Ball running free, goes the way of Nathan Paletti, puts his body on the line, goes in hard. Umpire says the ball was held to him. Umpire Pratt will come and throw the ball up. So Brigades are using lots and lots of interchanges this afternoon. They are certainly changing players off the bench.
I hate to be a steward.
Couple of good, there's a couple of players that come back on, and pretty handy ones too. Kim and Jaden Schofield about to come back on.
I'll take them, Glenn.
Yeah, good one with them, Peter, for the rest of the afternoon. So the ball will be thrown up again. So the Railways players will be looking which one of us is going to have to pick one of those up. So the ball will be
fresh
thrown
as
up
daisies
again.
They look too.
Yes. So that's the thing, as Peter mentioned earlier. If you train hard and work hard, you can continue to run.
And also the rotations help them out too, don't they?
They do. The ball comes forward again, and Railways have an opportunity now through Dion Drage. He couldn't mark the ball. Brigades go to the sanctuary of the boundary, to the goal square, and another force behind. So Clay Sippler decides to take the ball out wide. There is certainly a magnet on the ground over that way today, and they go out wide again, and Clay Sippler puts it up. Ball comes off hand, goes the way of Jordan O'Brien. He handballs it forward, looking there for Tom Fleming. Fleming soccers the ball forward, ball running free. In goes the player there, and Ryder. Ryder was sort of saying, I think I'm being held. The umpire said, no, nothing in that. Railways go forward now through Tunbridge, gets it out wide, finds Anderson. Anderson puts it on his left boot, kicks the ball forward, and looking out there is Jack Connell in the orange boots for Railways. Sees the ball across the boundary line. So we've played 16 minutes in this third quarter, the premiership quarter for Drennan O'Malley Motors, and in this quarter Railways have kicked one and Brigades have kicked one, so the status quo remains. Brigades still pretty much in control of this contest.
Sorry, Pete.
They are, Glenn and Peter, but it's 8 goals 7 to 2 goals 5. It's not as if it's a thumping, but Brigades have had a lot of the footy, but it's not an old-fashioned thumping, and said Schofield boys still aren't on.
They're waiting. They're impatient. Next week, of course, we go up to. Are we going up to Northampton? I think.
No,
I thought
that's the last week of the.
Oh, the last week.
So this is the third last round.
So next week, when do Railways play Northampton?
Last week.
Yeah. Last game.
2 weeks' time. Yeah.
So maybe it could come down to the last game. Who is going to play in the first and second semi? Or who's going to play your Brigades in the first, in the second semi?
Rovers in the first.
And Rovers in the first, but might put paid to that today if percentage has anything to do with it. If Northampton have a big win,
20 goals up at half time, so
the Railways do lose by a bit.
They've got a very big score, a good percentage anyway. Northampton, but Railways have got a better percentage now, but they won't have after today. One wouldn't think.
I don't think they need to worry too much about their percentage. It's more Railways' opportunity to get into second spot, and I think it may have eluded them. The ball on the far side, Dan, he sends
Railways play Mullawa next week, so they'll get that one.
They will, and a nice mark is taken by Perham. So Jack Perham, back into the lineup after overseas duties, you could say.
Northampton play Rovers next week, so that'll be an interesting one.
It will, because that's an nemesis, isn't it, Glenn?
Yes, that's right.
So in comes Jack Perham, kicking toward the river end. Dark clouds ominous, but I don't think there'll be any rain. Clouds over the Chapman Valley. Goes across the face of Golders. Perham didn't look confident in that kick. Going to ground, he's looking for a rider. Riders loom around the ball, but eventually goes away. One rider, then the other. Then over the back. It's rider to rider and goal. Is it?
Wait on it. Umpire saying it's off hands, I think he said. Looks like
It's gone through for... No, the umpire's asking the question.
Yep.
Yep, it's touched. And there, all the effort. They did a lot of work, did the rider boys in that passage of play. Would have been better if Jack had kicked it straight to the goal square, but alas, it goes through for the minor score.
So Henry Anderson brings the ball back out for Railways. And as we mentioned, Brigades are changing.
There's Jack again. He's going to do it himself now.
He said, nearly clean bowled him. He said, I'll do this. So Henry Perham, Jack Perham, I should say, gets the goal. And Jack gets a very, very good goal there.
We read it perfectly, didn't we, Glenn?
That's Jack's first of the afternoon.
Don't see buggy you blokes, Peter. I'm not putting it over there again.
So there we have it. The JMH Group scoreboard. Brigades are 9 goals, 8-62. And we see Railways are 2 goals, 5-17. So Jack Perham showing it how it's done. He's said, don't muck around, just kick a goal. And that's what he did.
Pete, it's going to be hard for Railways coming back from here. But, I mean, for Railways going forward from today, what players are there to come into the lineup?
Jordan Williamson, Jesse Adamini. Jesse Adamini is very important.
Oh, that's a big one. Yep.
So I think that they're trying to build towards finals and get a whole side back together, because they have had a bit of a funny season, especially that early draws where they played Chapman Valley twice, etc. But they're trying very hard to get it together. And I think you'll find when they hit the finals and they've got the players, they will be a better side.
Okay.
And the big ruckman, of course. So.
Well, the competition is looking for that, that's for sure. The ball back in the middle now with umpire Bennett. 9-8-62, Glenn plays 2-5-17.
Ball out of the centre. Can Brigades get it forward? Clay Sippler's in there now for the Hawks. Ball socket forward. A free kick will go the way of Railways. Railways kicking in danger against Brigades. So ball goes the way of Matt Kimberley. Kicks the ball in short. In goes the Brigades player there, who misses what he perhaps should have taken in Jack Connell. And the ball comes back out now. Goes the way now of Nathan Tubby. He goes by hand to Drew Tunbridge. Tunbridge kicks it up towards half forward. In goes Drew McGregor. Throws himself. Shows good desperation. Sees himself across the boundary line. And there'll be a boundary throw in.
I talked about it before, Glenn. Can you believe Drew McGregor? He's not a big fella. He's a goalkeeper in water polo.
Yes.
He's one of the best in the competition.
He's very flexible, isn't he? And durable. A very, very fit man. And there he is again. Slaps the ball out. Goes the way of Kim Schofield. He goes across the goals. Looking out there for brother Jaden. Jaden takes them on. Gets a handball away just a nick of time. Goes the way there of Joel Patrick. Patrick goes out along the outer side where he picks out a teammate. That teammate is Isaac Ronan. Ronan plays on, got an awkward kicking style, kicks it up towards centre wing, looking there for Jack Deschamps, but the Railways players come out with the ball, goes the way of Kerr. Kerr gets a kick high, wide and handsome. In goes McGregor, Logan it is, goes the way of Fleming, goes back towards the Railways player who did well. He was held while not in possession. Umpire says advantage rule, but there's no advantage. Now he's going to bring it back. So the umpire's damned if he does or damned if he doesn't.
Even in the AFL they're being a bit confusing with that rule at the moment, Glenn.
Yes, because usually we carry on and say, right,
it's a player's decision if they've gone on.
Yeah, but you got to, if you're second guessing yourself, you'll never play it, will you?
No.
So the ball now with the Railways player who did very well on that occasion, Jack Connell, goes back towards Ted Kerr. Ted Kerr on centre wing. Gets it up towards
Glenn today.
Gets it the way of Elijah Burrows. Yeah, no, Ted's been one of the better players. Elijah Burrows gets a big kick up towards half forward. Looking up there for a teammate. And goes the way of the Brigades player. Brigades get the ball forward. Goes the way of the player there for Brigades and Nathan Svensson. Svensson puts it on his left boot. Ball goes over the back. Goes the way of Caden Dan. Caden can't put a handle on it. Goes back in to retrieve it. Ball goes the way of Railways. Goes the way of Elliot Delaney. Handball goes the way of Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield cleverly gets it to Deschamps. Goes the way of the Brigades player there and Fraser Ismail, who takes them on. And Fraser Ismail is caught in possession. So the free kick goes the way of Antonio Priolo.
Antonio Priolo sizing up what he's going to do. Won't be a banana kick, will it? Down the wing it comes and misses all and sundry and out on the
Well, it might have been a banana kick.
He elected to go the Joe Banana kick. He's grandpop, of course, of Jordan Fruits and Veg history. The ball back in the middle now.
Beautiful pass.
Yeah, beautiful. Lace out pass goes the way now of Caden Dan. He gets it back to his teammate there. We're talking about Harrison King. Good to see him back in the lineup. King a couple of years ago was a young star on the up and up. He's played with the footy in the regional areas of WA too, Glenn, so he's been a bit of a journeyman. The ball now is with Jace Price for Railways.
Nothing to kick to.
No, nothing down ground as you heard from Peter Bucket Keefe. So Jace Price, one of the bigger possession getters for his side. He's looking for that player in Moore. Moore worked hard off the back of the pack. Giltro picks it up, but a little bit too late because the whistle has sounded. And it is a hefty lead that Railways, Brigades do have here in our Drennan O'Malley game day. In a three-quarter time, it is 9-8-62 Brigades. They lead Railways 2-5-17. And you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is Radio Mama.
I've got to get going. Thanks very much.
with 7 goals. Railways kicked 1, 39 points to margin at half-time. And at three-quarter time, it is a 45-point margin in favour of the Hawks, the minor premiers. Our half-time and three-quarter time summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And we can tell you the game out at Nabwa at Mazzucchelli Oval at 3/4 time. Rovers 8-7, lead Chapman Valley 7-8. So a thrilling game out there at Nabwa, 8-7 to 7-8. And we haven't got a score in from 3/4 time yet, but we can tell you that it's a big score at half time. Northampton 19-10, 124. Mullawar 3 behinds. We can also tell you from our man on the ground, James Gardner, telling us that Ben Saunders done his hammy and out of the game, so that will probably end him for the year too, Peter. Or, you know, all the home and away season anyway. We've only got 3 games to go.
That's a big out for Railways, isn't it?
And you missed his bustling out there, and thanks for bringing that to our attention, James. So, yeah, that's disappointing. And a very, very interesting situation.
He must have done that early in the second quarter, I reckon.
Yes. So it's interesting score lines, and we'll keep you up to date with those scores, and we'll bring them to you as quickly
so
as
better
we
players,
can.
Glenn Buckerkeefe has left us for the day, but Kim Schofield, Jaden Schofield, and also Henry Perham had the most possessions for Brigades, while Drew Tunbridge in defence, Anderson and Declan Shriven, along with Price, have the most possessions for Railways.
We're into the last quarter, so it's all happening, and looking forward to see what happens here this afternoon. And we're into the last quarter with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, and the ball was with the Railways forward, and it goes the way of Mitchell Boyle now. Mitchell has marked, he's 55 metres from goal. Railways are kicking to the river end in this last quarter. Ball comes the way of the player there in Moore, Jesse Moore with the ball. So Railways trying to create something. The ball goes deep into the forward pocket. Railways player flies high. Brigades defence slaps the ball away, and that player does well in Joel Patrick, sees the ball through.
He's had a good game, Joel, hasn't he?
Well, he has. He's kept Ryan Latessia to 1 goal, and a very good effort after he had a big day last week. Of course, the opposition's a little bit tighter today, and the ball comes back into play. Goes the way of the Railways player there, who does well in Anderson. Feeds a handball out to a teammate. Anderson comes back in, retrieves it. He got it from Giltro. Goes back to his player there in Anderson, but it's picked up by the Brigades defence. Brigades get the ball forward. Brigades have it, but Ted Kerr's there. He's been really good this afternoon.
Nice kick.
Nice short pass. Finds Ryan Latessia. Plays on, short pass, turns the ball over though, and they've done that a lot this afternoon, Railways, and it goes the way of Jaden Schofield. He goes by hand to Henry Perham. Henry's been very good this afternoon, kicks it to his brother Jack. Jack couldn't mark the ball off hands.
Done that a few times in his life, hasn't he?
He has, yes. Ball goes out of bounds, there'll be a boundary throw in. Drew Tunbridge did well on that occasion.
Yeah, sporting almost the same haircut too. I think Henry's a mini-me of Jack this afternoon. The ball coming in just from our broadcast position right in front of the club rooms here at Brigades. Giltro picks it up for Railways, but is quickly set upon by his opposite number. Goes to ground, does Giltro again. He's working hard as a youngster, and this is second or third game for Railways. The umpire retrieves it again and will throw it up. That's umpire Pratt, along with Starling and Bennett this afternoon. Umpiring's been pretty good. Goes away of Schofield, straight onto his boot. He slaps it into the full forward area. Mark here will be decisive for Brigades. Going the way of Perham. He thinks about it, sends it inboard and finds Jamie Ryder. Jack Perham, superb vision.
Yes, so that's the difference, isn't it? And good opportunity now, and a good shot now for Jamie. Jamie's kicked a couple this afternoon, and he can add to that tally. So Jamie Ryder is 30 metres out, almost directly in front, and Jamie's kicking to the city end of the ground. So Brigades, Jamie Ryder, can he get his third of the afternoon and give the Hawks their 10th? So Jamie Ryder lines up for goal. There he goes, puts it on his left boot, ball fades away to the left-hand side, minus score only. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, Brigades are 9 goals, 63 to Railways 2-5-17, 63 to 17.
Let off the hook there, Railways, Glenn, you'd think. Riders, I don't miss too many goals. The ball coming out of defence now for the Blues. Goes the way of Kimberley. Kimberley's worked hard, but he's been coming out of defence along with Piolo. Been a bit of a war of attrition as it goes back now to a fellow player who sends it down to Latassi, and Latassi can't take the mark. The ball comes back in from Brigades now, who are pushing their opponents down. There's Schofield. He's tackled, but gets it away to Ryder. Jamie Ryder will have another big bash at the sticks. He's a little bit far out, but a nice mark is taken right in the goal area by Jack Perham, and he's directly in front, and he won't miss this one.
Okay, so he's done well this afternoon, and Jack can get his second goal of the afternoon, and he does it, and Brigades get another score on the board. It's their 10th of the afternoon on the JMH Group scoreboard. Brigades go to 10 goals, 9, 69. They lead Railways 2-5-17. And, of course, this last quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. And, you know, Brigades are all really doing, Peter, is all they have to do is win, isn't it? And, you know, they haven't perhaps beaten Railways in a, you know, belted the heck out of them. But, you know, they've won and won well. Still, it gives them a really confidence boosting going into the finals, doesn't it? The last time they played, it was a margin of 75 points. It won't be 75 points today, but still quite a sizable
It'll be about
margin.
50 points.
Yeah.
The ball back in the middle now, and it's Brigades who win it again, but it's Railways who get the ball out through Latassi. He does the don't argue on Jamie Ryder and knocks him to ground. Gee, that was right in the face, and really wouldn't have felt that good for Ryder as he still struggles to pick himself up off the canvas. The ball on the far side going the way of that player. Sending it into the Burrow, sends it into the half-forward area, but it's picked up by Brigades. They send it down the wing, and they're away through Schofield. He's racking up kicks this afternoon, Kim Schofield. He's probably going to Skeeters for dinner this evening or tomorrow. Goes further afield. Brigades kick away. They blaze away all too quickly on this occasion and miss everything, and the ball is out in the full forward area for Brigades, who are kicking toward the city end.
Yes, it's a very, very interesting scoreline at Mullawar, between Mullawar and Northampton. Northampton are doing the job quite convincingly, so Northampton are trying to improve their percentage.
What's happening out at the Valley, Glenn?
Yeah, really interesting scoreline out there as well. At three-quarter time, it is a very, very interesting scoreline, and it is Rovers 8-7, leading Chapman Valley 7-8. So only points in it out there.
Mirror image.
Yeah.
The ball going back the way of Jaden Schofield now outside the pack. He spins around, wastes no time in putting it onto his boot, but he's inaccurate and going through for the minor score. So the game is just going to peter out, one would think, to a easy win to Brigades, and but they haven't had to work as hard as you would think. But Railways, I don't know, they throw on the best they can at them, Glenn.
Well, you know, we know Jesse Adamini will come back into this side, and we know also MJ McConnell will come back in, and possibly one other in Jordan Williamson. But Brigades also, they have got a couple to come back in too. They would be, you would also expect perhaps Sam Millett to come back in if his fitness is good enough. And there is one other player, of course, that will come back in, and Hayden Johnson, their big ruckman. So
he's the big in.
He's a massive in. Ball goes the way of Brigades. Brigades get it forward there. They get it the way of Isaac Roden. Gets it up towards Fraser Ismail. He kicks towards goal. Fraser is offline on this occasion. That was a good effort.
It was a good
fair
effort.
way out. And Fraser Ismail gets a minus score. So on the JMH Group scoreboard, it is Brigades 10-11-71 to Railways 2-5-17. And next weekend it is round 13. It's the Iluka round. Railways host Mullawar at Warren Taylor home, so Railways you'd expect to have a clear win there. Chapman Valley host Towns. That's our Drennan O'Malley Motors game day out at Bazzacali Oval. And the other game, which will be another late game, Northampton play Rovers, and that'll be a really good indicator. And, you know, Rovers are having to work pretty hard against Chapman Valley today, and they will look forward to a big workout against Northampton, who are having a birthday up there, nearly 20 goals up at half time in their game against Mullawar. So
10-11-71 plays 2-5-17 in favour of the Hawks here at GBSC Sports Park this afternoon. GT Russell Chartered Accountants bringing you this, the final term. Grant is on the sidelines here at Eden Clark. Of course, he is the manager not the manager, he's the man that looks after all the Railways boys, make sure they're in good nick, and he continues to do that. And of course, he is a great supporter of the GNFL. The ball on the far side though, and it's Brigades who have it. They send it up toward the youngster. He hasn't done really a lot today in Graham Sandy, but he's been about when he needs to, and the ball eludes him and out on the full, I think it is. No, it's about to be thrown in. In attack now, just outside the forward 50 for Brigades, as I said, kicking toward the city end. Big crowd in attendance here for Family Day here at Eden Park this afternoon. Yeah. Glenn, you haven't got a ride on that pony yet, but maybe there's still time. It's getting dark though, so
the line is fairly long.
You just push into the front, wouldn't you?
Just go straight to the front on the biggest here. Barely. The ball comes forward now, goes the way of Harrison King, who's been good this afternoon. Harrison gets his kick forward, picks out Caden Dan. Good to see Caden Dan. He had a bit of an ankle injury at Country Week. Good to see Caden get over that.
Yeah, that's good. I forgot about that.
Gets in the way of Jack Deschamps.
Nice kick.
I like Jack Deschamps' game today. It's the best game I've seen Jack play this year.
Yeah.
And we know how we were a big rap Jack a couple of years ago. He had a bit of a quieter year last year. But getting back to the Jack we know. So Jack Deschamps, very exciting and good player. So Jack Deschamps, he's about 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle, kicking to the city end. And Jack hasn't kicked a goal. Not this Jack. Jack Perham's kicked two, but Jack Deschamps hasn't kicked a goal, and he hasn't with that one either. And it fades away to the left-hand side, 1 point only. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, Brigades are 10-11, 10-12, 72 to Railways 2-5-17.
Yeah, it's just turning 10 minutes gone in the final term, but it is a reasonable lead to Brigades here at home as we see a beautiful mark taken in the middle of the ground by veteran and Jesse Moore for Railways. He kicks to the outer side, looks for another veteran out there who can't take the mark. He plays on now, onto his boot, into the half-forward area. Beautiful lead by Lewin Valley. He can't take the mark, but he gathers the ball up for Brigades. Just in front of the scoreboard, he gathers it in, plays dive on top of him, and the ball up right in front of the new electronic scoreboard here at GBSC Sports Park.
And we've heard that Ben Saunders has done a hamstring. Hamstring is generally 3 to 4 weeks, Peter. And with the break, there's only 2 weeks of home and away season, and this idea of playing the finals all in the one weekend, if you get in the second semi-final, it's no advantage because you don't get an extra week. So I'd say that he's probably played his last game for the year, which is a big blow to Railways and to Ben. Ben has had a pretty good year. He's worked really hard as the captain of the Railways side, and I would doubt that he would play footy again in 2023.
I agree with you then, Glenn. As the ball comes inboard now, goes with Graham Sandy for Brigades. A beautiful kick into the full forward area, and Caden Dan takes a mark unopposed. So Caden Dan is wearing a beard now, so he looks a little bit different. Scraps up with that beard all right, does Caden Dan. He's going to have a kick toward the northern end. Of course, as I mentioned, he is the grandson of the great Mick Dunn, the Railways, I should say Rovers champion. So here comes now Caden Dan. Nice kick into the full forward area. What's it look like? It's straight through the middle. And that's another goal to Brigades. They go to 11 goals 12. 72, or maybe it's 10 goals 12. That scoreboard's pretty quick now, Glenn. And I was pretty quick. It is 11 goals 12, 78. And they lead Railways 2-5-17. Possibly one of the lowest scores by Railways this year.
Yeah, so Caden Dan gets his first of the afternoon, but good confidence boosting goal for him. So Caden gets his first of the afternoon. Let's quickly run through the goal scorers for Brigades, and we can tell you that Dale Williamson has kicked 4, Jamie Wright has kicked 2, Jack Perham 2, Christopher Wright has kicked 2, singles to Kim Schofield and Caden Dan with that goal. So 78 plays 17 in favour of the minor premiers Brigades. Picked up by the big ruckman there in Tom Fleming for Brigades. Kicks it up towards half forward. Railways defence do well. Didn't put boot to ball. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt, and the ball will be thrown up. Umpire
very lucky.
Didn't make contact with the ball. Ball goes up now. Goes the way of Nathan Paletti. Paletti slaps the ball forward, but it's picked up by Graham Sandy. Graham Sandy runs into an open goal, but he misses what he perhaps should have got, and a minor score result. So Brigades probably been a little bit wasteful in front of goals, but Railways will be thankful about that. And on the JMH group, we see an interchange happening as Dale Williamson runs onto the ground, and it is Brigades 11-13, 79, Railways 2-5-17. Railways bring the ball out of defence.
I need to turn the lights on soon, Glenn.
Goes the way of Ted Kerr. Ted Kerr with the ball. He's been one of Railways' better players this afternoon.
He'd like to know that too, Glenn. He's only a part-time footballer, well-known hockey player here in town, water polo player.
Just a natural sports person.
He certainly is. Ball goes in now. It's picked up by the JJ Clune medalist in Tubby. Tubby in his second game for the season, coming out of retirement, sends it inboard. It is a missed kick. Goes over the back, picked up by Sippler. Slipper kicks to the outer side, and it looks like it's Sandy that wants to run on with it again, but he misjudges the bounce. No, he recovers. Comes in now with a nice kick toward the goal square. Up they go. Williamson at the back. Over the back comes Perham. He tries to knock it forward. He'll bring it back in. Will it be clever enough to find the hands of a Brigades player? No, Railways get it. Out of danger as it goes away of Paletti, and he switches play to the outer side. The ball is still inside the forward 50, but it's out of danger as it's taken toward the boundary.
Yes, so a little bit of luck there for Railways, but Nathan Paletti, he's worked really hard over the last 2 or 3 weeks back in league footy. I like the way he's gone about his work, but that time the ball nearly went out of bounds, and ball will be brought back in. So Brigade still got it in their 50. It's deep in the left forward pocket. Dale Williamson's there, slaps the ball forward, only as far as Railways, and Delaney's quick to see the goal through for a force behind. So Brigades are 11 goals, 14, 80, and Railways are 2-5, 17. As the Railways player to bring the ball back into play. Railways player is Delaney. Delaney gets a short pass forward, and he goes the way there of Ted Kerr. So Ted Kerr has the ball. Ted Kerr with the ball. Wants to get the ball on quickly. Goes by hand. Goes the way of Elliot Delaney. Elliot Delaney gets a short pass forward, and running with the flight of the ball is Elijah Burrows. Elijah playing most of the season with East Fremantle Colts. Takes the ball now and a bounce, puts it on his left boot, kicks it towards half forward. Railways, can they get something while they have the ball up there? Goes the way of Jamie Huggins. He has the ball held to him, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball
Talking
up.
about East Fremantle Colts, Railways are -1 Jackson Graham today.
That's right, Jackson Graham playing. Also, another player from the Brigades Footy Club is playing as well. And Jackson's from Railways, of course. But there's from Towns, Rourke Drage.
Rourke Drage, who lives in the city,
Yeah. So Rourke Drage having his first game of Colts, and of course we saw Rourke play so well in that game between Northampton and Towns a few weeks ago, just prior to the waffle game between Peel Thunder and East Fremantle.
The ball on the far side, though, as time ticks away. 79 plays 17 in favour of Brigades here this afternoon. Railways struggling to get a score on the board. As I said, I think their lowest score of the year to date, I think 2-5-17. So scoring only 2 goals in a match would be a little bit disturbing for their coaching staff, Glenn.
Yeah, no, not the way they would like it. When they last played, and that was way back in early part of the year, I think it was about round 6, it was a 75-point margin. It won't be 75 points today, still, but quite a sizable margin all the same. And it's disappointing. I think Brigades or Railways thought they would be a little bit better today, and that hasn't been the case to this point. So the ball running by, time running by in this last quarter. GT Russell Chartered Accountants bringing it to us today on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day.
6 minutes left on the clock in this quarter, Glenn.
So Railways will be glad when the siren sounds, or will they? Because Brigades have been comprehensive winners here this afternoon. As we see Graham Sandy getting a lot of the ball in this quarter, kicks it up forward, and a good mark taken there by the live wire in Christopher Ryder. Good pass there from Graham Sandy. Graham coming off for a spell now, and Christopher Ryder has an opportunity to add to his tally.
A bit of a purple patch there for Graham, wasn't it?
Yes. So Christopher Ryder lining up for goal, and he's kicked a few this afternoon. He's kicked a couple, I think. So let's see how Christopher goes with this one as he lines up for goal. And he giving himself plenty of time, but time certainly on his side as the margin will blow out a bit more if Christopher kicks this one, puts it on his left boot. Now the goal umpire signals 1 point only, and on the GMH Group scoreboard, Brigades go to 11 goals, 14, 80 to their opponents Railways, 2 goals, 5-17.
Yes, it's going to be a convincing win to Brigades yet again against their arch rivals Railways as the ball comes out of defence going the way of Schofield. He's able to collect it. Didn't get on the first attempt, but Jaden Schofield gets it on the second, sends it in, lays out, and beautiful mark taken by Jack Perham. So Jack Perham returning to the lineup, as I said, from travelling overseas, and the holiday hasn't hurt him at all, Glenn.
No, he's looked fresh.
He does. Fresh as a daisy as he comes in now to kick
when
to
they last played, Peter,
the northern
Railways
southern
kicked
end.
3 goals, 7. So they're going to kick less than that. They kicked 3 goals, 7 last time.
Nice kick by Jack, straight through the middle, and that sees Brigades go to 12 goals 14, and they lead Railways 2-5. So it will be Railways' lowest score of the season.
That's right. So Jack Perham now has got 3 goals. So Jack will be pleased to be back in the goal-kicking circles. And as I said right at the start, to have Jack Perham and Dale Williamson, 2-pronged attack up in the forward line is pretty exciting.
2 towers, eh?
And then you've got the players around the ground. We've got Christopher Ryder, Jamie Ryder. Haven't seen a lot of Jordan O'Brien. He's been pretty quiet by his high standards today. Caden Dan, Graham Sandy, those blokes feeding off those big tall blokes. There looks a lot of avenues
and
to go.
And the ruckman, the comeback's a big in.
Oh, yes.
So when he comes back, and I did see him earlier today, so he can't be too far away.
No. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Hayden Johnson, Spud Johnson. Ball comes the way of Brigades, and Clay Sippler gets the ball forward, but only as far as the Railways player, who slips over at the crucial stage, and Priolo goes back towards Ted Kerr. Kerr under pressure, gives it to Burrows. Burrows gets it out towards player there in Delaney. Goes the way of Mitchell Boyle. He takes them on. Gets a kick away just in the nick of time. Goes up forward. In goes the Railways player. Dion Drage runs into a pack. Good tackle there put on him by Ronan. Picked up now by the Brigades player. And Brigades get the ball out of trouble through Jack McCaffrey. Ball goes up towards centre wing. Whistle on play. And a free kick will go the way of the Railways player. Advantage rule played. Railways Nathan Tubby with the ball. Nathan Tubby, the veteran, gets the ball across the ground, looking there for some run. Finds a playmate there in Declan Scriven. Scriven gets it away to the player there, Jace Price. And the umpire have been pretty generous this afternoon on a couple of occasions. And Jace Price not penalised there. And the Brigades supporters asking the question, the umpire saying, no, not a lot in that. And the boundary umpire will throw the ball back in. So the boundary umpire puts the ball back into play.
Yes, right in front of the big crowd here at Eden Clark this afternoon, in front of the club rooms, and a broadcast position for Radio Mum. In it goes. Players setting themselves. It was a great throw. Goes away of Brigades though. Ruckman puts it onto his boot. And there he is. Power takes a beautiful mark. He was impeded, but he let it juggle into his arms. He took a beautiful mark, quickly puts it onto his boot. He's looking for Williamson. Williamson can't take the mark. The ball spills free. Railways may do the better here, but there's Perham again. He cleverly soccers in into the goal square, and turning around on a 50-cent piece, a player shoots, but he's unlucky on that occasion. And then it's Fraser Ishmael only putting it through for the minor score. But Jack Perham, you can tell when a player's played at a higher level because they just don't stop.
They don't. And looking at the scoreline, 12 goals 15, 87 for Brigades, 2 goals 5, 17. So we've got 27 scoring shots to 7. So just sort of shows how dominant Brigades have been this afternoon. When they last played, it was a 15 goal to 3 goals. So it won't be quite as big a margin as last time, but not much better. As Ted Kerr goes by hand to Elijah Burrows. Burrows kicks the ball up to Brigades players fly. Picked up by player there in Logan. In the player there gets it for McGregor, but Railways have it out on the back defence. The Railways defender in Ruben Ulrich. Ruben Ulrich goes back, short pass, goes the way of Ted Kerr. Ted Kerr has the ball on half back. Ted Kerr goes with another pass, finds Jesse Moore. Jesse Moore on half back. 22 and a half minutes gone in this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. As we look at the three-quarter time score from Northampton, and you can't believe this scoreline, three-quarter time at Northampton. Northampton 30 goals 15, lead Mullawar 7 behinds.
Yeah, that's not a good scoreline, and we don't probably need to repeat it too often because Northampton are going to have a huge win today as the ball goes into the half-back line for Brigades. The pressure is relieved as they come off the half-back line on the far side. They've been playing over that far side of the golf club all day, Glenn.
I would say that Harry Taylor could have 17, 20 goals today.
We'll see. But, yeah, that's incredible stuff. So the ball about to be thrown in from the far side of GBSC Sports Park. Getting really dark, as I said, Glenn. I've still got my sunnies on, but maybe the lights need to come off soon, and there's a lot of dark clouds over the valley, Glenn.
There's a Railways player is holding his groin there, not travelling too well. That was a player there in Owen Delaney, so he's got a bit of soreness in his groin, and Railways can't afford to lose any more players to injury. Ball comes back into play. Umpire will come and throw the ball up. time certainly well and truly ran out for Railways this afternoon, and Brigades kicked no goals in the first quarter. They kicked 7 in the second quarter. They kicked 2 in the third quarter, and they've kicked 3 in the last
Exactly
quarter.
70 points at the moment, Glenn.
Okay, so can Railways get another score on the board? They're trying, they're working hard. Their defenders have been good, but they've been under the pump. Well, there's the siren, full time at the footy, and Brigades are clear winners. The minor premiers, and sitting on top of the premiership table, and they've beaten the second side, and that's how it was at the start of the game. And Brigades 12-15-87 have defeated Railways 2-5-17, and you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Brennan O'Malley Motors, GNFL.